It's time for video number 3 in our quest to complete the What the Doernbecher Dunk High set. And in this video, just like in the previous one, I want to take you back to 2004, which was the very first year of the Nike Doernbecher Children's Hospital collaboration. And we're going to have a look at this pair of black and sport royal blue Nike ShoeZeum FC SBs. These shoes were designed by Libro, who's known for his contagious smile and glowing personality, and he's full of bright ideas. Michael's an only child, and at the age of 12, he was diagnosed with leukemia, and in 2003, he became a patient at Doernbecher Children's Hospital. And in 2004, he was selected as one of the initial 5 patients to design his own pair of shoes. Now, during Michael's stay at the hospital, it was really important to him to stay strong and resilient for his mom and grandma. And he said that getting to design his own pair of Nikes really boosted his spirits and kept his morale high during tough times at the hospital. Let's break down Libro's shoe. So the Nike ShoeZeum FC SB is actually a modified version of an indoor soccer shoe. There used to be a shoe called the Nike FC. FC stands for football club. Remember that the whole rest of the world calls soccer football. And anyway, in 2003, the Nike SB team got a hold of this old indoor soccer shoe. And they added more cushioning and padding and a fatter tongue, and they put Zoom Air into the shoe. And they turned what was formerly an indoor soccer shoe into a skateboarding shoe, which is really cool. Now, a lot of the early Nike SB models were actually shoes that were in other categories that the SB team got a hold of and put more padding and cushioning and Zoom Air, and then they turned the shoe into an SB shoe. Most notably, we have Dunks and Blazers and Bruins that once were basketball shoes and then were turned into skateboarding shoes. And then here we have an indoor soccer shoe that was turned into a skateboarding shoe. Pretty cool. So let's break out Michael's other shoe and let's talk about some of his inspirations and some of his bright ideas with this pair of kicks. So initially, Michael was pumped about designing this shoe, and he wanted it to glow in the dark. Like, he wanted the whole shoe to glow in the dark. And the Nike designers told him that that was not possible. He also thought it would be cool if the shoe was clear, like see-through, but that was also not possible. So what Nike did was actually make outsoles that glow in the dark. And you can see these outsoles almost look like gum outsoles with a yellowish tint, sort of stealthy, and they do glow in the dark. Now, remember that the What the Doernbecher shoe is a mishmash of a bunch of previous Doernbecher models, and they actually took the glow-in-the-dark outsole from this shoe and put it on one of the What the Doernbecher shoes, except the outsole looks completely different because there's been a lot of innovations in the way of glow-in-the-dark technology since Michael had the idea back in 2004 on this shoe. So when you're looking at the What the Doernbecher sole that glows in the dark and you look at it next to this shoe and you're like, huh, they both glow in the dark, but they don't look exactly the same. That's because in 2015 they put the updated technology onto that outsole. Now let's digress for a second and move Michael's shoes out of the way. And let's actually talk about some of the innovations that have happened with glow-in-the-dark and clear shoes since Michael had that amazing idea. So let's fast forward to 2006. You can see this pair of Dunks. It was sort of a Halloween version, and this shoe glows in the dark. Like, the whole shoe glows in the dark, just like Michael had the idea and the designer said it was impossible, and then a couple years later they were able to make it happen. Now, this is not a Doernbecher collaboration at all, but it's just here to show the innovations in the way of glow-in-the-dark shoes. Now, I want to also break out another glow-in-the-dark shoe, which actually is a part of the Nike and Doernbecher collaboration, And this is an Air Jordan 5 Retro. And this shoe glows in the dark. There's actually a poem on the upper that glows in the dark that was written by Isaac, who was the patient that designed this pair of shoes. And actually there was another glow-in-the-dark shoe. It's a Dunk. There were only 2 of them that were made, and they were a part of the Nike Doernbecher collaboration. Mark Smith created this shoe. It's got a bunch of laser etchings and comes in a crazy wooden box. It was made to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the Nike Doernbecher Freestyle line, and this shoe had all of the patients' names all over the upper, and they glowed in the dark. So, Michael, you ended up about 10 years later getting a pair of shoes with your name that glows in the dark on there, so that's pretty cool. And remember that another one of Michael's ideas was to have clear shoes, which they weren't able to pull off, but check this out. This is another collaboration from 2004. These are some Air Force 2s. They were a collaboration with an artist known as Steve Powers, and these shoes are known as the Espo. There's only 1,050 pairs of these shoes. They're not a Doernbecher collaboration, but you can see actually that Nike was able to pull off a clear shoe. Pretty awesome. Now go back to the 1970s, and there's actually prototypes of clear shoes. Nike would do research and development looking at clear shoes to see what a foot looked like in a shoe, and then they would make upgrades. Let's get back to Michael's ShoeZeum FC SBs. So 4 of the initial 5 Nike Doernbecher shoes were ShoeZeum FCs, and 3 of those 4 feature Sport Royal as one of the colors on the shoes, interestingly. Let's have a look at the hang tag right here. It says Doernbecher Freestyle, and we'll turn it over right here, and it's got a little bit of Michael's story and the inspiration behind the shoes. So it says, designed by Michael Libro, age 12. Michael has bright ideas. This might have to do with his radiant plasma screen TV and love for imaginative video games. His favorite sports are inline skating, soccer, and football. Got to break out the soccer ball and the football, right? ShoeZeum's all about bringing shoes to life with toys and props. So there we have it. Let's get back here. The shoe is a combination of black, representing Michael's laid-back attitude, and vivid blue and green. Now, don't be confused. Vivid blue is not actually the shade of blue on this shoe. Vivid blue is the shade of blue on the Doernbecher Air Jordan 1. They're saying vivid as like an adjective to describe blue. So, vivid blue and green to show his wild side. It glows in the dark, Michael explains, for people who need some midnight light. The proceeds from this shoe go to the Doernbecher Children's Hospital Foundation. Now remember, in all of my videos on these different Doernbecher models, you can look down in the description and there's a link for you to go and donate money to the Doernbecher Children's Hospital. Also in the description for this video, I'll include links to reviews for that Halloween glow-in-the-dark Dunk, the Doernbecher glow-in-the-dark 5, and the Espo Air Force 2s, if you're interested in learning more about those kicks. So, laid-back attitude, people need that midnight light, got that glow in the dark right here. Definitely Michael Libro was way ahead of his time with all of these ideas about glow in the dark and see-through. He actually thought it would be cool if there was glow in the dark shorts and shoes and socks and even underwear. So he had some crazy, bright, wild ideas way back just as a 12 or 13-year-old. There's only one thing left to do, and that's break out our checklist right here. Remember, we're checking off each shoe as we do the video. There's Michael Libro's ShoeZeum FC SB. So let's break out our Sharpie, and boom. One more shoe closer to completing the set. It's been a great pleasure. I'll be coming back. My next video is going to be on another one of the ShoeZeum FC SBs from the very first year of the Nike Doernbecher collaboration. That pair's white, pink, and also Sport Royal. I look forward to bringing more of these videos to you, and it's just a pleasure to bring these shoes and these stories to life.